Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ahmed and today we're going to learn how to use Access as a database and C Sharp as a front end for building applications. First of all, let us open Microsoft Access 2010. Of course, it can be any other version of Access. Let's create a blank database. I'll click over here, blank database, and this is the file name along with the path. If I need to change this, just simply click on this icon and let's place it on the desktop. The database name is database1.acc.db. So basically there are multiple versions of Access. Currently this is the currently selected option is Access 2007. Then we have 2002, 2003 version and the 2000 version. I'll just leave it for acc.db and let's name it students and I'll save it on the desktop. Okay, save. Let's create this database and okay, now Access has created this database for us. Let's minimize this and we can see the icon over here. Now in my case we can see the extension of this file also. Why is it so? Because I have enabled this option from, you can open the Windows Explorer, then go to tools, folder options, view, and then simply uncheck this option, hide extension for known file types. This way you will be able to see all the file extensions. I always do that. So okay, now let's make a table. This is the default table, so I don't like this view. Let's go to the design view. We can name it students. Okay, and we have a student ID. Let's give it a number. Auto number will automatically give it numbering, just like sequence in case of Oracle. Student name, this will be text field. Then we have let's say student CNIC number, and again we have text, and then finally we will be having student date of birth, and this will be date field. Okay, okay, that's fine. Save this file. Now open this up in the data view and let's add some student records. So this is 100 is the ID, 100 ID of the first student we will be adding, and then just add a few more records over here. I'll add Ali and then give it a fake number, then date of birth is 1990. Okay, that's fine. Then the next record, this is the next record, and now the second name I will just add okay, again some fake record. Okay, so these are some of my records now. The database is clear. Now let's just simply move on to C Sharp. I'll open up C Sharp. Create a new project, a Windows application, and I'll name it students app. The template is loaded and we have a blank form 1. Okay. Now I'll go to the toolbox select label. Where is the label? And select a list box. I'm not renaming anything, and well, just simply load the records in this list box. So what we need now is, first of all, we need to include some namespaces. This is the namespace for calling any OLEDB based database. It can be SQL Server, it can be Oracle, it can be Access, anything. So now we'll need to create the connection object. The most important property of connection object is the connection string, how it will communicate with the database. This is basically just a string type. You can also make sure of this by popping this window. Okay, now we need a connection string. Connection string can be obtained, but you don't have to remember it. Simply go to a website, that is connectionstrings.com. And this website is very helpful if you forgot the connection string or any other scenario. Just go to Access 2007. I'll copy the standard option available, standard security. Okay, and then we will simply go over here and paste it as it is, no changes whatsoever. Okay, now this is the provider part. In case you are been using Access 2003 or any other version, this will be different because Microsoft Jet OLEDB drivers will be recorded, not ACE drivers. You can have a look at it by simply clicking on this option, Access for 2003 and older versions. This is the provider, Jet OLEDB 4.0. But in case of 2007 or 2010, this provider is required. Second is the path. We placed our database on the desktop. Let's right click on it, properties. This is the path, folder path. I'll just copy it from here and paste it over here, and the file name also, students. Okay, good. And this is the standard security, persistent security. Okay, and the next thing we need is to open this connection. Now in case let me also okay, this code is placed in the form load code. So in case there was a problem connecting to this database, we will have an exception. Otherwise, this message box will be displayed. I'll press F5 to run the application, and okay, seems like we're going to have an error, and most probably this error is because our Access application is open. Let's wait and see. Yes, that's the same problem. File already in use, so just stop this and close this Access application, because Access is not good for multiple applications using it. Okay, now we don't have any problem with it. Okay, fine. Next step is, so we're sure that this connection string is working. Finally, we'll also have to close the connection. Now the next thing is that we need this connection to run a command. Commands can only be run using command object. OLEDB command, just simply create. The next thing required is which connection this command will use. So we will give it the name of this connection, and then the next part is what command you need to run. For instance, I'll write over here select student name from students. That's it. This is the command we need to execute. Now we're just setting these properties. We haven't actually executed anything. The next part is to the real execution of this command. For execution, there are basically three methods: execute non-query, execute reader, execute scalar. Query basically means a question, or we're waiting for a reply. So non-query, which are insert, update and delete, in which we do not need any result from the command. So we'll use execute reader. Execute reader is basically used for multiple results. Execute scalar is used for just a single reply. Execute reader we will use, and this returns an OLEDB data reader. OLED data reader, and I'll call it a view reader. This is a collection just like an array, but in arrays we are able to access any row, but when we're talking about reader, we are only limited to one row at a time. So by default it is always pointing to the beginning of file, that is not the 0 record but the -1 record. So this method is used. Read, what this method does is that it will advance the pointer to the next record, and in case there was a success, that is, in other words, if there was a record existing, so it will return a bool, just like we can see over here, and otherwise it will return a false. So it is safe to use it in a while statement. Now what we'll do here is we will list all of these items in the list item. Okay, now what we need is reader, and we call just student name, so only one column will be returned. This reader is basically and has overloaded square bracket operator twice. 0 means for the index. For instance, I have only one column, so I can use either a 0 or a string, just like in this case. String is basically student name, and of course it will return an object, so I need to cast it also. Now let's run this application, and hopefully it will run just fine. Yes, it does. All the names have been retrieved in this list box. Now just to make sure that the index is also working, so we'll give it a value of 0. Let's run it, and it's working fine also. Let's make some other changes. If I type over here student, let's say student ID, now 0 will be referring to student ID, and IDs will be loaded in that box. Yes, that's the way it should work. And one will display the names. So this is a basic way of selecting database record from access to our C# application. In the next part, I'll continue with this same but using a grid application.